Hello and welcome back to Oliver Clapworthy Music, and in today's video I'm going to be interviewing Obvious Reasons ahead of their new single release, so let's get straight into it. So I'm now joined by Obvious Reasons, and if you don't know them, I mean, you should know Fraser. You should know Fraser. He's been on my channel for about like 3 times or 4 times, can't even remember. So if you don't know them, please go pick someone to start. Say your name and your instrument.
You go first.
Hi, I'm Yuri. I play bass and I sing backing vocals.
Millie.
Hi, I'm Millie. I play drums and I do backing vocals.
Robert.
Hi, I'm Robert, and I play guitar.
Fraser?
I don't sing.
And I'm Fraser. I play guitar and I do rhythm guitar and I lead sing, but I'm also there for general fuckery.
Give us a song.
Or not?
Wow. High five. No, let's not do that.
So my first point I want to talk about is the success of Future Fest, because last time I spoke to Fraser on this channel was about Future Fest. So please tell me, how do you think Future Fest went?
Really well. I mean, we had there was a lot of, with any event like that, things go wrong. They're gonna go wrong. Stuff like that you have planned out perfectly in your head always ends up falling through, and then you just come up with solutions and you work around things. I think we weren't expecting much in terms of Hendrix. We weren't expecting much in terms of huge profits or anything, but we did end up making a profit, which we were really happy about, and most importantly, the night was really successful. So, I mean, I don't know about what it felt like from your guys' points of views.
I think I was really happy because I felt like we were the most prepared for anything that could go wrong, but luckily nothing really did go wrong. I think it was very from our behind the scenes perspective, it was like one of the most smooth events that we've run. And I think people had a great time, and I think that's the most important thing. So
Yeah, I second that.
I third that.
I guess I don't know, because me and Millie and Yuri were super involved in the planning, but from your point of view, Rob, to you, I guess it was an obvious reason set as much as it was the
Yeah,
festival.
but definitely from an outside view of not being heavily involved with the planning, it still ran really well and it was really smooth, even from an outside perspective.
Yeah. And I think as well, we were also from a band point of view, which is what this interview is about, as a band. We were really happy with our set as well. We had a really good audience there for us, and we had loads of stage space, and we played a couple we played a new cover, and it went down really well. Millie's dying. Are you okay, Millie?
I'm great. I got a sore throat. Stop talking about it.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I won't say anything ever again.
Yeah.
But yeah, our set was also really great. We had a really fun time, and we had a lot of people who hadn't seen us before there as well, which is always really nice to bring in some new audience in a venue that we've done quite a few times. So yeah, we were really happy with that gig.
So let's focus on the band now. I want to ask, because you do a mixture of originals and covers in your set, what's your favorite original to start off with?
It's Cyanide.
It's Cyanide.
Right? Yeah. We love doing Cyanide. I mean, is that your favorite, Millie? You're allowed to have you're allowed to have a different favorite.
Hang on. I don't know. I quite like Paralyzed. It's just fun.
Ooh.
Yeah, fair enough. Paralyzed is fun. I can get behind Paralyzed. I don't know. I feel like Paralyzed is kind of a strain on my voice. For me, at least. Whenever we put Paralyzed into a set, I have to put it in where I put Paralyzed, I always strategize and give myself an easy song afterwards. Because if I do Paralyzed and then Cyanide, I'm gonna struggle to do the harmonies and the chain at the end.
Right, yeah. I think actually I do kind of fuck with B-side as well.
I was going to say B-side, actually. I was going to say if it isn't Cyanide, it's B-side. I have so much fun playing B-side.
Me too.
It's a really good song. I'm so excited to release that soon. Yeah,
By
Seaside
the way,
is confusingly
so excited to
the
release that
actual.
soon. By the way,
By the way, yeah, coming out soon. But yeah, that song is really really fun to play live. So yeah, I guess from like a band perspective, correct me if I'm wrong, but like Cyanide Paralyzed and Seaside is are like
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
our favorites.
I always get a bit stressed in B when we're playing B side though.
Oh, how come?
I don't know. It's just I feel like I don't know. I just really want to make it sound good, and I just sort of for some reason I struggle with it a little bit more than other songs. Like
Yeah.
Narcissist is like I know this is a hot take within the band, but Narcissist is one of my favorite songs to play live.
I like Paul
Just think it's
Narcissist.
like so fun and groovy, and I get to lock in with Millie, which is cool. What?
Okay.
Millie, be nice.
I didn't mean it. I'm sorry.
If a double kick action in.
I think
Yay, not
I think my two favorite songs would be Blood on My Alibi, the live version with the extended intro, and probably False Hope.
We've been loving that extended intro recently.
Yeah, to be
Mhm.
fair, actually, I also love playing False Hope live.
Hate
False Hope
it.
makes me feel so powerful.
Fucking hate False Hope.
Your part in False Hope is so good, though. It's so
But it's
good.
so fucking boring. Am I allowed to
So
swear?
good.
Yes.
Okay.
Swearing is
Fuck
permitted on
me.
the Oliver.
It's
Yeah.
the most boring song to play.
You're not giving us the best promo right now, man.
Everyone
It
go listen to
slaps.
False Hope. Go
Okay,
listen.
it's a real banger. Don't ever learn it on drums. You'll regret it.
What's your least favorite original?
False Hope.
I mean, we don't do beta blockers anymore.
That's just because of the vibe, though.
I think, yeah, that's true. I did really like playing bass blockers, to be fair.
Bring it
You're
back.
right. It just doesn't really. Yeah, maybe I think we should bring it back. Like next time we do an hour set or something, we should stick beta blockers in there. I haven't done it in a while, and lots of people tell us they like that song. But
Yeah.
I do think maybe it is like my least favorite to play of all of the songs, beta blockers. But I do still really like it. It's a really good song. Very proud of it. But of all the originals, I guess of the ones that we still play now, maybe my least favorite is Paralyzed, just because it's a strain on my voice. But I actually do love doing the song in general. It's just one of those songs for me that's like, so that's probably my shout.
For me, it's Narcissist. I'm not a huge fan of playing that live.
Oh yeah, I remember we talked about this recently, didn't we? You just said you weren't a
Yeah.
huge fan of your part in it.
But the
Yeah,
solo goes so hard.
It is not my best writing in my own opinion, but oh well.
The end section's really fun as well. That was a really good shout from you in the studio, Millie. When we recorded Narcissist, we were like midway through tracking Yuri's backing vocals, and Millie looked at me and was like, should we add something to that last section in Narcissist? Like something that just fills out a bit more space, like a vocal thing whilst we're doing them. And I was like, yeah, go on, what have you had in mind? And Millie was like, something that we can like repeat like a chant that we could get the crowd to do. And I was like, sure. And Millie just drafted up that he tried to resist, but he's forcing it, the fucked up mind of a narcissist. And then yeah, Millie and Yuri like figured out what the rhythms would be, and then they did that for the track. And we had never done it live before, and then after we recorded it, we went back and figured out how we were going to do it live so that we could do it on stage. And then we did it on stage for the first time, I think, at our EP launch.
Yes.
And yeah, it went hard as fuck. And there was like a group of people at the front who had like started doing it with us.
Yeah, I had a lot of
know
fun
that part.
doing that vocal part, and then especially because when we also made the decision for me to like sync up with Millie's double kick, and it was just kind of a fun little challenge to try and figure out how to do like both of those odd rhythms at the same time. I had a lot of fun with that.
Definitely.
I feel we've completely derailed from the question though.
We did, yeah. We got totally distracted. Sorry.
Least favorite original, Yuri.
Least favorite original. I have to say Narcissist.
Okay.
I think like I don't know because sometimes I can get behind like a really like high energy punky feel, but I always feel like it's a little bit cheesy. I love the lyrics, but but playing it, I just find it a bit too cheesy for my tastes. But I recognise that it goes hard, and it is fun to play. In fairness,
I don't really have a least favourite. That's a bit of a cop-out answer. But
It's
favourite.
funny that as an audience member, you don't have a least favorite, but everyone in the band is like, "Oh, I fucking hate this one in particular." Like none of us are like, "I love all of our songs." Like the proper like answer that we should have given. It's just everyone's like, "Hate this one." That everyone's got one that they don't like doing.
Today, Gab asked me, name 3 obvious reasons songs, and I froze up.
Sorry, what?
I was like, ooh,
That's
ooh,
so
good
funny.
question.
we just forget that we exist as a band.
Which one should I pick?
Listen. Blood on My Alibi, Lake of Lost, Seaside, False Hope, Cyanide, Beta Blockers, Narcissist, Paralyzed, Limerence.
All right, show on.
Limerence.
Ravens of Limerence.
Deep cut. I don't think. Did you miss any?
I don't think.
I think that is all of our originals, except for ones we haven't like done live. I'm just trying to think if
Do I
there's.
leak that you did miss?
You make it sound like we've got loads going on.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know. We like basically finished Sandstorm. We just have to finish up that last little section.
Have we?
Yeah, pretty much.
You heard it here
It
first.
Was I there?
You, yeah. To be fair, there were sections that you weren't too sure on yet.
I'm not sure on
Um,
any of it. Anyway, moving on.
We can come back to this song another time.
Moving on.
What's your favourite cover?
Little Monster by Royal Blood.
That one's really fun. I always fuck up the vocals for that one though, because we play it in a different key. I spent ages practicing it in the original and forgot that it was going to be in a different key. And now, whenever the song starts, I always lock into the original. I think I'm getting better at it, but maybe not. Still not great. That's so tough.
My favorite cover that we still do live, at least, I think, has got to be The Chain.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love to have an actual good like backing vocals part. You know, I just feel like it feels good to play an actual really, really good song and not one of our shitty originals.
I remember the first time we like played The Chain, like the first few times we played it, and the crowd reactions were amazing. I got to say
They
Chain.
still are. They're all still amazing.
I think the second time ever we played The Chain was our first Things Happen Here gig. Like the day after we did Move with Lennon and the Zombies, we went to Things Happen Here and did The Chain there again. And both nights when we did that song, when Rob started taking the solo, everyone in the audience was like, Rob, which was like super fun. And then when we did it at Things Happen Here, before we did The Chain, I was like, hey, this guy's called Rob. And if you want to chant his name, I like pointed to him, and then Toby, our friend in the audience, completely cut me off and went, "Take your shirt off," and I was like, "Fuck you, fuck you, Toby."
I think the best thing about doing The Chain was it was one that we wanted to do for like ages. Like even when we started the band, we were like, "Oh, should we do The Chain?" But then we were all way too scared to. We didn't want to fuck it up, and we wanted to be able to make it sound good. And I think I was really happy that we got such a good reaction to it, and it always just feels good to have that amazing reaction like on stage.
Yeah, I think The Chain might be my favorite cover as well. Actually, it's either that or Psycho. I really like doing Psycho. Psycho is really, really fun. Not much tops the energy that I get to put into Psycho.
Yeah.
But the crowd energy from The Chain is what's I think is the best we get from the crowd. So yeah, one of those two for me, definitely.
Yeah, my favourite's The Chain. It has to be. I just think the backing vocals on that song are so good.
The harmonies are, yeah.
Yeah, that Millie and Fraser's harmonies are so good on that song.
I think you took a lot of it from the track, but we're playing it in a different key, and you like figured out, if not wrote, most of those harmonies, right, Millie?
To be fair, it mostly just follows it, but just higher. It's just exactly what you're doing, but higher up. And then in the chorus, I did steal that just from the actual song.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, though, still. What about you, Rob?
Pardon?
Favorite cover, Rob?
Yeah, Chain.
Chain? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Least favourite cover?
This is gonna start.
Yeah, this is gonna start
Yeah.
something.
Question to get into.
Okay. Do we talk about
Brazil.
like Brazil? But do we count Brazil? Because we only do Brazil
We
when we
cover
do
it.
like functions.
Uh,
In our actual like live sets, I
okay.
don't think we have any covers that any of us in the band particularly dislike, because we have so many, because we do mostly originals, and we only ever do like two or three, maybe three or four covers every set. And so those three or four covers are like very specially catered to make sure that we all enjoy them and that we get a range of the things that we all like as a band. Um, I think in our last set, where at the Phoenix, we did Teddy Picker, Psycho, The Chain, and did we do any other covers?
Little Monster.
Oh yeah, and Little Monster. And all four of those songs are, I mean, I can't speak for all of us, but I'm pretty sure all four of those songs are songs that all four of us love doing.
Yeah.
So in
Okay.
terms of like our actual sets where we're like properly showing off who we are as a band, I don't know if there are any covers we do that we particularly don't like. We do gigs where we play like functions, which are like pub gigs and like formal parties and stuff and private events. And at those we tend to do like majority covers sets with only like one or two originals in it, the ones that we think go the hardest. At those events when we're doing mostly covers, we have a lot more covers, and so there are ones that we don't like. You said Brazil, Millie. I probably don't like doing um I between Holiday and Say It Ain't So, just because we've done them both for so long. They were both songs that were in our first ever set that we did. That
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I've done those songs a lot. I do still really enjoy doing them, but
I do really fuck with both of them. I can't lie.
yeah, they're both amazing songs, and I do love
Mm.
doing them. I just think they're my least favorite of all the
Yeah.
covers we do. It would be Brazil, but Brazil's got a really fun vocal part, so
Hire
I
us
think
for
I'm fine with
your
that.
parties if you want to hear all these covers that we do.
Yeah, bring obvious reasons to the functions. No, yeah, probably shouldn't advertise that we play cover sets, because then all we ever do for the rest of time will be cover sets. What about you, Rob? Least favorite?
I gotta say Brazil as well. I think we played it to death so much, kind of like a little bit over a year ago. I just can't sing the song anymore.
And it is a song that just
Yeah.
everyone covers now. You hear it all the time, and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even the artist who wrote that song constantly goes into interviews being like, "I fucking hate Brazil," like, so
He didn't
so
write
done
when
with
he
it.
was
Like,
14, to be fair. Like, imagine that.
yeah, that's
You
true.
write a song when you're 14, it's your biggest fucking banger.
Yeah,
Meadows
Fraser.
flashbacks.
Meadows.
No. No. Uh-oh.
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 I would say my least favorite cover that you've done. What have I heard you done before? I don't think I've heard you do a least favorite cover before. I'm not sure. It's another
I would
it's
say-
another cop out answer. I know. About I want to say it was October 2022. You asked me, do I know the song Lovejoy Taunt? Because
Yeah.
you were thinking of starting a band with Yuri. At the time, I didn't know
Yeah.
that song. Had I have said yes, would this band even be a thing? That's a question.
I don't know, because at the same time that I asked you, we were already talking to other musicians as well, and this band happened by like chance. Of like,
there were a lot of events that had to happen for this band to
yeah, and
be together and in the state that it's in now as well.
Yeah, and Yuri and I were playing with the idea of having a band with two other musicians who are now doing different stuff. We don't know where Tom Sargent is. He's gone somewhere. And we were talking about doing something with Fred, who's now the bassist in Toka, who are an amazing band.
Great band.
And we were going to do stuff with them. And then Tom left the college, and then Fred totally dropped off of everyone's radar and moved to a different college. So it was all kind of happening, but not happening. And then we just, this kind of fell into place with Millie. So I think even if we had been doing other stuff with musicians that was planned, this unplanned thing would have always have happened.
And at that point, I was in a band with Rob and my best friend Rowan and this girl from my last, like, she was a couple years above me. But because she joined the school when she left as a teaching assistant, and Rowan still went to the school, they weren't allowed to be in a band together outside of the school. So,
like, safeguarding issues.
Oh. Anyway, safeguarding issues. It's raining. What do I do? Can they just? She ended up leaving the band, and then Rowan ended up not just never playing bass, and so then, that was with you, wasn't it, Rob?
Then Obvious Reasons started, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Heat Stroke that was.
Yeah, right, and so then
called Heat Stroke. That's new law. I didn't know you were called Heat Stroke.
Yeah, we could Heat Stroke, but it has a stroke, like a Strokes video, so it's really cool. Yeah, I just saw someone slip and fall. That's so embarrassing. Anyway,
so not relevant. Just violated that stranger that you watched slip and fall.
Anyway, I put up like a poster in music in CMP that was like, I need a singer and a bass player, please. And then like you messaged me and were like, I have a guitar and a voice and a bassist. And I was like, we live in Ottery, and you were like, oh, never mind, can't do it. Sorry.
You're like, fuck that.
I was like,
we ended up meeting you in class, and then it happened anyway.
Yeah, I was like, Ottery St Mary has no train station. Fuck that.
And so now I have to get an hour-long train to Feniton and then get picked up from the station to band practice.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks to Sam Tame, though, we're here.
Yeah, thank you, Sam Tame.
Big up all odds. What's the name of his new music bar again?
12 Bar Music and Social.
Yeah.
On in Exeter City Centre near to Nando's.
I'm just going to use this whole interview to promote other people.
Yeah, I mean, right. The Die Twice interview was literally big up every single band. So yeah, go for it. Fill your boots. My next question is, what's the best performance you've ever done?
Ooh,
that's a great question.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What happened? Everything froze.
Oh. That was a great reaction to everything freezing.
Did you hear the question, Rob?
I did. I said the first.
Say again. Got out.
Gig that we ever did.
He's saying the first move gig. The first move gig that we ever did.
Future Faces.
With the Future Faces.
It's behind you. It's almost a year ago. When this video comes out, it'd be more than a year ago.
Yes.
Yeah, which is crazy. Which means Obvious Events will be a year old. Which is crazy to think that we've done everything that we've done in less than a year. But anyway, that's besides the question.
Everyone down in the comments put happy birthday to Fraser's child, Obvious Events.
To my first child, Obvious Events. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Baby A's.
Baby A's. No, I think the Future Face is a good shout for the best gig we've ever done. Although I like watching back on all of those videos.
You have wine, bro?
Robert has a glass of wine on a Sunday. I think Future Face is a good shout, but it wasn't my personal favorite because I was like, looking back over all of those videos, everyone was loving the energy, but I was singing quite flat for lots of songs, and my guitar was like out of tune a lot, or my tone just sounded awful. Like I feel like a lot of the way that I sounded, I didn't really care about that, like the tone of my guitar as much as I should have then, and I sounded not great. So I wasn't very proud of that performance. I really enjoyed doing it, but like looking back, having video evidence of it,
I think it went really well as a gig, and like I think we had a great time and people loved it. But I think we've definitely progressed as a band since then. I'm tempted to say that our best performance, that like my favorite performance that we've done, is maybe either the Phoenix, where we just played at the Exeter Phoenix, which is still crazy to me. I think it was really exciting to be on that stage, and I think we played really well. Yeah, just something recent, because I feel like we've had a really good run of sets.
Yeah, definitely. Every
I'd probably
time,
say Future Faces though, still, because I just like I loved. I don't think we've ever had that like atmosphere matched since.
Yeah.
It was just really good.
But also the crowd energy on stage was just amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, our friend Mike did a great job of like recording that set as well.
Oh yeah, Mike did an amazing job. Mike Chamberlain on Instagram. Promote as many people as you can.
What's the worst performance you've ever done?
Feniton.
Yeah, the Feniton one. The Feniton one. Yeah, the Feniton one. That one was bad. That was really bad.
That was like the day after our gig in Plymouth with the Sephiros.
Oh yeah.
I'd like lost my voice. We were all exhausted. I had work the next morning.
And the Sephiros gig was really good as well. We enjoyed that one. And then to go to Feniton right after just made it like all the more like worse. But basically we showed up and they didn't have like any PA system that they told us that they had. They were like they just had like one speaker that was connected to one plastic microphone, like directly. And then they were like, yeah, we got a PA system. So then we like messaged somebody to bring us our like PA system, but the person who brought us the PA system like massively overdid it. So then we had like too much equipment for what essentially would have been fine with just like 2 tops and 3 microphones and a simple mixing desk. Like we didn't need all the stuff that he brought, but yeah, whatever. And then welcome back. Millie's back. And then yeah, so then we had the like a really full on PA system. And then whilst we were doing the gig, I only had one guitar. Rob often brings 2 guitars to like every show. I only had one guitar with me, and I broke a string, and I didn't have a spare pack of strings, which I now always have in case I break a string. But yeah, and then I picked up Rob's spare guitar once I'd broken the string and put it on and plugged it in, and the sound that came through the system was just like it didn't. There was like no noise coming through Rob's guitar at all. And so then we waited for like 10, 15 minutes. We like did one cover that we had that was without a guitar. And then we had to wait for like 5 or 10 minutes whilst Rob's dad went and got another one of Rob's guitars from home and then came back with it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So we were like standing around for ages, like waiting for an instrument. And then
didn't we get told that we were too loud later on or something?
Oh, yeah. Someone told us that we were too loud. And we were like
thing, and we were too like heavy for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was also just a generally like like Yuri said, we had like very low energy, and we weren't getting paid for it. It was the first one that we were doing in a while where we weren't going to make any money, so that also didn't feel super great. There was also we did a gig at the Thirsty Farmer, which was, I think, my personal low point, maybe, just because that was the first time I lost my voice.
Oh yeah,
his voice on stage. I thought it was kind of fun though.
It was a really fun gig.
Then I had to pick up lead vocals mid song, and then you were just trying to do the rest of the set like.
Yeah, I just basically sung the rest of the set with like voice breaks and like no like voice at all, pretty much. And it was like above anything else, it was pretty embarrassing because I was like, this is my job. It's the one thing I was supposed to be able to do, and I'm like, have no voice. And fucking, it was Brazil. Brazil killed my voice. We were midway through Brazil, and I was like, I heard you sold the Amazon. And then I just like had no voice for the rest of the gig, and I was just like trying to get through. Oh yeah, that was a pretty low one for me, but it was like all worth it. I would do it again in a heartbeat because it was for charity. So if I had to lose my voice lose my voice again at a gig, if it was a charity one, I'd do it. But yeah, it was quite unpleasant.
Hashtag restless development.
Hashtag restless development.
Part 3 is questions from musicians / people who may know you.
I like
Okay.
this part. I'm
Me
excited.
too.
So this first question comes from Leonard and the Zombies.
Yeah.
And they
Yay.
ask, what's the reason? In the name obvious
Sam
reasons,
Tame.
what's the reason?
Sam
Sam
Tame.
Tame.
Sam Tame is the reason.
In obvious reasons, literally the name overall, the reason behind the name.
Sam
The
Tame.
reason behind the name is once again Sam Tame. We've told this. I think I've told this story a couple times now.
Yeah, it's actually on. If you really want to see it, it's going to be on the Obvious Events YouTube very soon.
Is it? Oh
it?
yeah,
Yeah,
right. I
it's in the
forgot
interview.
in our interview from Future Fest on the Obvious Events YouTube page.
When's that
We're
dropping? When's that dropping?
We don't know yet. Whenever Millie finishes editing it.
Sorry. Do my best, bro.
Yeah, no pressure. Millie will just edit as she goes, and then it'll drop when it drops. But yeah, we're like, it'll just be something that I think the plan at the moment, at least from my point of view, is that we're just going to save it, and then when there's a dip in events, which at the moment is looking like it's probably going to be September, we'll stick it up then, and then it'll just fill some space on our page for posting and stuff, and just keep up people like having us in their minds, which is what you want to do when you're a business that requires ticket sales and constant public activity. Is just keeping people in keeping yourselves in people's heads. So yeah, we'll probably stick it up sometime in September, maybe, if Millie has it done by then. But to answer your question properly, the reason is that we were in a class and I was gonna make some joke about I think it was some kind of dirty joke or something, and that I was like, can't make that joke because, you know, obvious reasons. And then Melody was like, what are the obvious reasons, Fraser? Go on, tell us. What are the obvious reasons, from like the other side of the classroom? And I was like,
I was sat next to you, bro.
were you? I thought you were on a different table.
No, we were on the same table. It was you,
tweaking.
me, Pip, and Annabelle, I think.
Oh, sure, okay. I believe that. But yeah, I was like, obvious reasons, new band name, because that was a bit that I was doing a lot at that time. With like whenever someone said something unusual, I'd just be like, new band name, and then Millie was like, actually, I don't hate it, and then Yuri was like, yeah, that's fine, and then
no, I wasn't
okay.
there. You just came up to me afterwards and was like, yeah, so our name is Obvious Reasons, by the way, and I was like, okay.
I've completely misremembered that. I'm sorry.
Anyway.
Yeah, that was where it came from.
Yeah.
The next question comes from Through Her Eyes.
Oh, yeah?
All right.
And the question is, how did you first start getting gigs?
Wayne.
It was most honestly our first few gigs were through Millie's dad and his like friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
John.
Well, yeah, to get our first gig at Move and to get into Exeter, that was the reason. That was originally the reason that we started Obvious Events. It was sort of the name that we would put for our like we reached out to Move ourselves and said, can we put on an event at Move, and then it was going to be the name that our like Fat Soma would be under, and then we were like, let's make this a thing.
When we started Obvious Events.
But yeah, so I guess it really was just
Future
like
Fest, like Obvious Fest or something. By the way.
Yeah. But,
when we conceptualized Obvious Events, it was just to put on gigs for ourselves in Exeter. So I guess the answer to the Through Her Eyes question is put them on yourself, or push is probably the better answer. Is push to put yourself forward to lots of people, know as many people as possible, offer yourself up to support gigs for as many people as possible, even if it's not just like promotional companies. Sometimes other bands will book headlines, like Recreants. Before we started working with them a lot and we started booking a lot of their gigs, they just put their own shows on because they knew how to do it and they were capable of it. So, and like Recreants is just one of those bands, like they don't have an events company, they just put on their own gigs because they can. So yeah, just reach out to people who you know who play lots of shows and lots of promotional companies and venues, just literally everyone. Send them an email, have a really good info package that has like videos of you playing in it so that they can have some evidence that you've got some shows under your belt. To get shows under your belt, do like offer yourself up to your local pub, just any local pub, and just be like, we will do an hour of covers, and then like stick in one or two originals and get your family to film on their phones you doing your one or two originals in your mostly covers set. And then stick up those one or two originals that you filmed on a phone onto like a Google site or something with some nice backgrounds, and get a nice couple of pictures or something if you guys by the ocean or whatever. Just make a nice looking portfolio, send it to as many people as possible, and yeah, and then see what you can get. That's how I would do it. Or plan your own events if somebody else can't get them for you, which is why we conceptualize obvious events. Get ourselves gigs.
The next question comes from Casey.
Slay.
And she asked, what made you decide what genre of music to do?
Common interest, right?
Yeah, it's just like what we liked at the time. I mean, we kept it fairly light at the beginning. I think that's because Annabelle liked that kind of style more. So she, like, when we started writing stuff like Paralyzed, she got very uninterested.
Yeah, I mean, it started as just like learning songs that we all liked, and then we just sort of wrote what, like,
those songs.
We wrote what fit those songs and what we thought was a common interest. But I feel like definitely over time, and since Annabelle left the band and since Rob joined, we've just sort of grown a bit more like interest in like
got heavier.
Yeah. And just started to slowly add more and more elements of what we liked of heavy music into our songs and into our songwriting.
A big part of that was also me as well. So I was just wanted to throw that out there, is that like you say Annabelle didn't like the heavier stuff, but when we started, I was like, I don't need a distortion pedal.
I remember when you. Who's going?
We did, I don't know. I was just going to say that was why we wrote A side and B side.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Fraser was like, hey, you guys always get to write your kind of music. Can I write my kind of music? And we were like, oh, well, we think we're like holding back because of you. And we were like, how about we should write the same kind of song differently? Like just have a set of chords or whatever.
Yeah, it came up with one idea, and then Fraser went off and wrote his own mellow.
I went on holiday to Finland and stayed by this like beautiful like lakeside woodland house with my mate Victor, and I wrote A side out there. I wrote Lake of Lost out there, and
then the rest of us just got together at a band practice and just wrote what came to us.
And when I came back, they had a full instrumental recording of B side down. Yeah. And then they sent me that, and then I worked on lyrics from home, and then I finished them with you guys at a practice. But yeah, a big part of like
we came up with some basic lyrical ideas, and then you worked off of those.
Yeah, I think if in terms of like if we were gonna tell another person who like I know Casey wants to be in some more bands, and they're kind of like figuring out what to do with their sound and stuff. Like if you are in a band and you guys don't know how to find your sound or agree on something, agree on some covers and then jam those for a while, and then see where you can find similarities across all of those covers and see how you can blend those into songs together. Once you've written one song together, the rest will come to you. The kind of style that you want to write in will grow and evolve as you write. You just have to write one, and that one will break the seal for writing more.
Yeah, I think definitely, and like after you play a few covers with a band, you start to once you just sort of feel each other a bit more, it becomes a lot easier to combine your interests.
Certainly felt like you a lot, Yuri. I'm sorry.
This next question comes from the Bristol-based post-punk band Pack of Animals. And they asked, what was the first gig you went to that made you want to start a band?
Ooh.
The first gig I went to that made me want to start a band was when I saw 21 Pilots at Leeds Festival in I want to say 18, 19. I saw in one day Billie Eilish, Blossoms, 21 Pilots, and Post Malone. I did not stay for Post Malone, but I did see the other artists, and I thought they were amazing, and I kind of decided then. I came from a musical theatre background, but I kind of decided then that being in a band was cooler, and I liked the energy more than performing in musical theatre than I did in I like the energy more of performing in music than I did in musical theatre.
Yeah, I think I didn't really go to much gigs and stuff before being in a band, so I just know that I see stuff on YouTube and watch just like whenever people were performing live, I'd always just think like I want to do that, but then I just never had a band to do it with.
I feel like you started performing and like actually learning instruments much younger than the rest of us did, right?
Well, I did stuff like violin when I was younger, but drums was just my dad taught me a couple of things when I was in like year 11, like 10 or 11, I think. And then he was in a band at the time. And so for like shits and gigs, the lead singer Paul would just be like, "Hey, we're just gonna bring down the average age of the band for a second and swap out John with his child." And then I would just play like 2 songs and then leave. But that was like just kind of for
that's
fun.
still much earlier, like actual band experience than the rest of us had. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if your high school bands did anything like that, Yuri. I mean, you weren't in any like secondary school bands, were you, Rob? For all
No.
I know, I wasn't either. I was only doing solo stuff in secondary school. I don't know about you, Yuri.
I was in a band from like year 8, but we never really did much.
Right? Yeah.
We'd learn like 1 or 2 songs for our like end of term school concerts, and then COVID happened and we didn't do anything for ages.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, I mean, back to like gigs that inspired us. I think a core memory for all of us is like in our first year of college when we went to a gig with, I think it was Recreants, Iguanas, and Apathy playing. And I think particularly for us, like watching Iguanas, because they were like less metal and more like rock alternative.
Well, they did 2 days in a row, didn't they?
No, that was later. But,
was it? I thought that was the first. That was like the first gig I'd really been to.
The first time you guys went to see the Iguanas, I wasn't there. You went with Annabelle, and I couldn't make it.
Yeah. It was in
first time I saw the Iguanas was the Phoenix. What do you just look so flabbergasted at? What's happening?
What?
We can't see what you're seeing. Oh, what the fuck is
I am
that?
definitely keeping this in. Wow.
Right?
What the fuck?
Oh my god, it's like a whole parade.
Is that thing road legal?
It just beeped.
It beeped? Let's go. Oh, Millie's hand. Well,
okay, anyway. So
Right.
Iguanas
Okay.
did a thing, but they did 2 days, and the first one was in Move, and the next one was in the Phoenix.
That was April.
And
Yeah.
oh my god, I loved it.
I think Ollie is probably my biggest, which is crazy to say out loud, but I think Ollie is probably my biggest inspiration as a frontman.
My next question is from someone who works a little bit for Obvious Events. She's called Caitlin Knight.
Yo.
And she's asked when Fraser's releasing the highly anticipated Meadows.
No!
You can't escape it.
She was asking me what she should ask the other day.
I'm recording it at the moment for like the 6th time. I'm re-recording it so that I can have the best quality possible.
Yay.
And then when I go to college/university in September, depending on what happens, I'm going to pass it off to one of the music technology students at my educational institute, who will bring my song to the best quality possible, and then I will
What are you talking like that?
I will release a few singles, and then and album. It will have 10 songs.
Okay.
Meadows will be one of them. Meadows will be a single before the album comes out. Yeah. And it will probably come out in September, if not October, is my plan.
That was a whole lot of bullshit in that answer.
What the fuck?
That was a lot of nothing burger.
Fuck you. I gave a date-ish. 2-month span.
The next question comes from Izzy, who's your poster designer.
Yeah.
And
Love is.
the question is, what gig are you most looking forward to on the Uncharted Waters Tour?
It was the Phoenix. We've done it now.
Plymouth.
Ooh, Plymouth. Good choice.
I can't wait to play in Plymouth. I don't know why.
The Leadworks is a really beautiful venue. I went there for a meeting recently, like an Obvious Events one, and it's a really cool
Yeah.
space. It's going to be a lot of fun to play.
Everyone just always seems to have a good gig when they play in Plymouth.
But yeah,
Is it coming back?
Oh,
I heard it again.
it's returning. the machine. No. But yeah, Plymouth's gonna be fun. I'm really excited about the Bristol gig, just because we get to see the Sephiras again. That one's gonna be really fun.
And also working with We Need Bands, I'm really excited about.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're really, really cool. We
There's a
Need
lot
Bands
of
is
cool bands in that lineup.
a really legit company. We were at the Cavern last night. We saw you there, Oliver.
Yes,
But
I was there.
talking to another Ollie from Bosscast. And he was like saying like, oh, you guys are doing a gig in Bristol soon, right? And we were like, yeah, we are. And he was like, cool. Yeah, I've worked with We Need Bands before. They're like a really cool company. And then he was like, it's kind of jarring how professional they are. He was like, they've got a whole really like full-on payment system, and like they really got their crap together. And it's only like 2 guys who run the whole thing. And when you like see it all in action, you're like, how the fuck? So I'm really excited to see, like, at least from someone who organizes events, like the level of professionalism that Ollie really respected from them. Like, I'm excited to see that.
So that was my last question. What was your other guys' gig you're looking forward to on the tour?
I've got to say Bristol as well, if I'm honest. I'm excited to go back.
Yeah, I think Bristol was great last time, and it's just such a cool city to be in.
Going to Bristol is really exciting. Like driving in and like pulling up to a venue and unloading and like getting ready for a Bristol gig, like feels
having a Mackey's before getting there.
Having a Mackey's, yeah, getting a Mackey's on the way.
I've still got that photo of you wearing like the children's hat in the services on the way back from exchange, and you're just like,
yes, my favorite, my absolute favorite.
Put that on screen right now.
No, I'm not finding that.
Then we have to find that picture. I have no idea where that picture would be.
Send it to me, Millie. Then I'll edit it. I'll edit it into the interview.
It might be in our highlights. I'll have a look.
Or if Millie can't find it, then on the screen right now in big text it'll say they couldn't find it. Because at that point, then we need something to go over it instead.
Yeah.
Just put the picture of future Oliver while you're editing this. If they can't find it, put the picture of Millie I'm going to put on my story up on the screen.
Oh, the one. Yeah, the one. I know the one.
That's gruesome. That's
the
no
one
need
from
for that.
The one from the Moriarty gig.
My next question is, it's important you hear me out on this question because I think it's going to be unbelievable. If you were trapped on a desert island with one member of your band, who would it be and why?
I think this is actually quite easy for me because I think that Rob has the best survival instincts.
Yeah. Rob went to Bicton, bro.
That is not a high feat. Don't involve anyone else because I went to Bicton.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point. Yeah, maybe Rob, actually.
Yeah, I feel like Rob would know what to do.
She's a smarter person than I am. I hate to say it.
I think the Yuri has when I get to a point where I'm like going to absolute insanity, Yuri would like bring out some wisdom that would like ground me.
I feel like the opposite. If I was on the verge of going insane and Yuri was there, I'd actually die.
Yuri would be like, nightmare, 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 and it would like push
Not
you over
even
the
that.
edge.
Oh my god. No, I don't think I'd
I'd just be like,
bring you over to a desert island.
I'd be like trying to help you, and it would be just the worst thing for you. I just feel like I would say like all the wrong things.
Yeah.
Let's guys, let's not do an obvious reasons trip to a desert island.
No,
Let's
no.
not do that. Unless Rob's there, then we'll all be fine.
Roll
Oh.
together.
Who would I pick? Who would I pick? Who would I
Yeah,
pick?
who would you pick?
Fraser, I'd probably pick you, to be honest, because you've been on the channel the most times.
Oh right. That's
When-
why.
You'd pick me because there's the most meat on my bones, and when the food runs out, and there's no other options. That's
Fraser's the one that you can throw to the wolves.
I gotta go. Yeah, I'm the one you can sacrifice. I'm the. It's been decided.
Yeah, but who
New
would
least valuable obvious reasons member unlocked.
who would play to me Lake of Lost on guitar when I want to hear it?
Rob.
If I ate Fraser.
Rob would
Rob would refuse.
If I ate Fraser, discussing the hypotheticals of if I was eaten.
Because to be fair, if Fraser was on a desert island, he would bring a guitar.
Yeah.
I would actually bring a guitar,
We know.
Yeah.
He wouldn't
They
go to a
mock me.
desert island without his guitar.
which you may mock me for, but I would just like learn how to sweep pick.
An acoustic guitar where you can't even reach the top frets.
Yep, exactly.
So, finally, what I want to talk about is the future of obvious reasons. What's coming up? What's coming up with obvious events? What do you have planned?
So we've got our next few songs that we're working on.
Yeah, we've got Learning to Swim coming out is our next single, which has got two of the ones we play live on it, and then a third kind of bonus track type thing, similar in vibe to Limerence, but a whole lot more. We're just gonna try and get really creative with it and make it a really fun and interesting listen that will nicely transition from the two songs we do play live, which are Lake of Lost and Seaside. We're going on tour right now. That's pretty fun. I don't know when this video is supposed to be coming out, but I think even when this video has come out, we're still planning more tour dates. And then after that, more recording, more releasing. We're going to start following the rhetoric that's the Sephiro's advised us on doing, which is where we're going to start recording and writing up, we think at least, like an album or an EP, one of the two. And we'll do the Sephiro's thing, which is where you like, or at least what they've said we should do, where you like record two songs and then you release one of them, and then you record two and release and record and release. And then you kind of, when you release the full project, half of the songs you release will already be out and you've done loads of like promo and build up to it, and then the other half will be new songs to everybody. And I think I just really like that model, and I feel like we can all kind of agree with that. And I think we all have in mind as well with the songs that we've written so far, like which ones are going to go on the project when it releases and which ones are going to be singles. Like all of that just like kind of makes linear sense to us. So I guess that's probably the main thing that's next, is just more shows, followings in new cities, and then we'll see how long we can keep it going for before we'll get fucking sick of each other.
Yay!
And then yeah, one of us kills the other. And yeah.
So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more of this kind of stuff, more of obvious reasons. Watch the many Fraser interviews I've done before. Watch the Diagnosis Crazy review from way back in January.
First video, right?
Yes. And also watch the single review, or the whole project Learning to Swim review, when that drops. So thank you very much for watching.